Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I am so glad that you are here. My name is Andrea Gebhardt, and I am just thrilled to welcome you to tonight's event, the Longevity Edit. I have to say that there is something really powerful about taking time, especially in the middle of full, very busy lives. If you're someone with a full, busy life, let me know in the comments with the simple word me, to pause and learn something that can actually change the way we live, change the way we feel, and change the way we show up every single day. And that's exactly what tonight is about. And I'm again just so excited that you're here because when it comes to aging, I really think that we've been fed this story. We've just been handed a story that aging is something that just happens to us, that over time we should expect less energy, less mobility, less vibrancy. And what's so exciting and honestly so incredibly empowering is that we know that that's not entirely true. There's tons of research that has emerged, lots of really incredible information that we actually have more influence over our aging than we were ever led to believe. We may not be able to control time, how fast it goes, how slow it goes. We may not be able to, we cannot, I mean, let's just face it, we can't control the fact that we're all of every day we're a little bit older. And if you have teenagers, I feel like that's on a more rampant schedule. But again, we have far more influence over our over aging than we've known. And we have the ability to really kind of like change our experience with aging. And that's really what tonight is about. We're going to learn about how we can change the way that we feel in our bodies, how we move, how we think, how we show up in our lives, because longevity isn't just about living longer, it's about living better, it's about living stronger, it's about living more fully for a longer period of time. And what I like to call this really is when we start to think about it, it's about functional living. How many of us right now are waking up every single day fatigued, waking up with a body ache, struggling with that mental energy? We're crashing at 2 o'clock. We just don't feel that we have that same level of energy and vibrancy and zest for life, moving about and doing activities and things that we used to do. We sit back and we're like, well, I guess it's because I'm getting older. Well, of course my knee aches because, this is the age that I am now, or oh my gosh, my girlfriends and I just had this conversation. We're like, what is happening? Like, we're in bed by like 9 o'clock. 20 years ago, we were just going out at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? And so those are all signs. Our body is like, hi, hello, I'm not giving up yet. We need to fix a few things here. Again, back to that whole concept of functional living. We want to wake up with energy. We want to move with ease. We want to feel confident in our bodies and having the capacity to fully engage in your life, your family, your work, your passions. And the truth is, it's never too early to start thinking about longevity, and it is certainly never too late. So, whether you're someone who is joining us here right now, who is just starting to think about health in a more intentional way, or you've been on this journey for years, there's an opportunity for you to learn more, to do better, and truly upgrade how you care for your body, because that's really what it's about. Listen, we are not going to talk about hacks. We are not going to talk about quick fixes. Tonight is all about upgrading our biology, supporting our bodies at a deeper, more foundational level so we can experience life the way that we were meant to. And tonight, you are going to hear from someone who is not only deeply knowledgeable in this space, but so truly passionate about helping people understand what's possible when we begin to look at aging differently. She's absolutely brilliant, and she's going to walk us through the science, break things down in a way that makes sense, and give us insights into how we can begin to take more ownership over our health and longevity starting right now. So I encourage you to lean in, take some notes, allow yourself to really think differently about what's possible for your future. Because let's face it, the way that you experience the next 10, 20, 30 years of your life can start to shift with the decisions that you make today. So let's dive in. You guys, I'm so excited to introduce my good friend, an absolute just, genius. She's just so incredibly brilliant. And you're going to hear that in everything that she shares with you tonight. Please welcome my good friend, Adriana Arriga, to tell you all about longevity. Adriana, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. My name is Adriana Ariga. I am the Vice President of Field Marketing for Shackley. I am super honored to be a part of your conversation here because I have such a real passion for what we are doing here. I think longevity as a term is coming up everywhere. It's all over my social media. I'm sure it is yours. But this concept that we can truly have so much more influence about how we age. I have a true passion for this idea. I've just seen so many people, loved ones in my life that, as people age, I think people think that they don't have the knowledge or the control or the confidence to be able to make tiny little tweaks that make such a huge difference. And so I'm so proud of the work that we're doing and so excited to be sharing a few things with you today. So let me share my screen so we can get into it. So here we go. There is, like I said, longevity as a market is everywhere. There is a real shift in the marketplace. It is booming. People are really looking at how they age in a different way. So the conversation have changed. We're talking about muscle. Muscle now is the new anti-aging. People are talking about becoming strong. Nobody wants to be skinny anymore. Nobody wants the yo-yo diets. No, you want to be strong. People are talking about metabolism, not dieting. Again, aging powerfully. No one wants to age gracefully and kind of wither away. No, we want to age powerfully. And when we're in this world where people are talking about all these biohacks, no, we are talking about bio upgrades. People are no longer just looking for those quick fixes. People are wondering, how do I age powerfully? It's this really empowering time that we are living in and being introduced to that I am super excited about. And what is really interesting is I think historically, people have either been taught to live in this kind of anti-aging world, like people are like, what's the quick fix? What can I do? What's the hack, right? People want to like, we were marketed and we're taught that aging is bad. We want to anti-age, right? Which is crazy. I'm proud of aging. Or we have been taught to age gracefully, like I said, that we just wither away, like there's nothing you can do, like you're just going to give up, right? But what people now are realizing with conversations like this is that when all of these concerns that come up as we age, so changes in your weight, my energy is just not the same. I look in the mirror and like, oh, my skin, what are all these things that are showing up or wasn't there before? You don't feel as strong, you're not moving as well. All of these different things really do live under, they're not separate goals, right? They live under this one world and they are all signals of how your body is aging on the inside. So how your body is aging biologically, that influences everything. So I am here to tell you that you do not need to fight your age and you do not need to give up on your body, that we now have the knowledge to know that we can do things to really impact all of these things that are concerning to us, right? So I want to challenge us all to reframe our thinking and go into this super open-minded where, my friends, aging is not something that happens to you. Let me tell you, the way you age, so how you look, how you're moving, how you feel, is something that you can actively influence, right? And you don't want to start this when it's, I don't want to say too late, but already down the road when all of that kind of damage has compounded. You want to start now and really impact and change the trajectory of not just how you age, but it's really about those things that are that we care about, right? How we feel, how we're thinking, how we move, how we look in the mirror, how good we feel about ourselves. You are either choosing how you age or aging is choosing for you. And that is not for me. I'm telling you, I want to take this life by the horns and really determine how I age, right? And I think that's something that we all want. So let's get into it. Here is a spoiler. Spoiler alert. Your biological age can be influenced. So genetics really only account all the time we go to the doctor and it says they say, tell me about your family history. Your genetics account for only 20% of how you age. So what we've done at Shackley is really scour all of the research and development that we've done for 70 years at this point and really understand and have a true expert understanding of longevity science, how the body ages, and determined there are key systems that if we influence those things, we can influence how we age. So certain things like your cells, protecting your cells is such a huge part of how you age. Inflammation and repair, I'm sure many of you heard of that and talk about that. Your structural support, so your bones, how well your body is, structured, everything that's holding you up underneath. And of course, your muscle and metabolism. So again, if you can impact those systems, you truly impact how you are living and moving on an everyday basis. Okay. So this is the truth here. Aging starts beneath the surface. Oftentimes we look in the mirror and we're like, gosh, I'm getting older. Or like you wake up in the morning, oh gosh, that creak wasn't there before, right? It actually, all of that, it's built on a framework of collagen, bone, cartilage, muscle. All of that over time starts to decline. We know that, right? So collagen declines, your bone density is getting smaller, you're not feeling as mobile, your joints are starting to hurt, and obviously inflammation, oxidative stress, all of that is accelerating all the damage that happens on our inside of our body, and that accumulates over time. That is called structural aging. Okay, so I kind of want you to rethink about it's not just how I look and feel. That's after. It is what's happening on the inside that is impacting all of those things. So I want to talk to you about two really iconic products that we have um, in the portfolio that is kind of like table stakes. If you want to impact how you age, let's get into these two products. So I want to start with Vivix. This product is our most premium, iconic flagship products, and for good reason. It's backed by over 27 global patents. It has some of the most compelling science in anti-aging nutrition. It is powered by the most potent form of resveratrol combined with muscadine grape. It has all these polyphenols. And what it's going to do is double your cellular energy. So as we age, just like how we feel, we start to slow down, right? Your cells have been moving and grooving all your life. And as we age, it starts to slow down and it's being constantly attacked, right? So it doubles your cellular energy and it blunts inflammatory response. It is a powerful, powerful product, but I kind of want to give you the context. This is a little bit of an aha, which is a little bit of a shock that most people don't realize that every minute of your day, your cells are being attacked over 500 trillion times. And that is just by living, right? Yes, we know of kind of, the sun or the pollution or even blue light, right? That those are attacking our cells. But even just eating, even getting up and walking. Your cells are constantly being attacked under wear and tear just by doing the things in your life. So you see here on the slide pollution, stress, inflammation, UV exposure. All of those things are attacking your cells. And we hear about this term inflammation, but sometimes people are like, what does that really mean? What is that, how does that really show up? So people see that in different ways. Puffiness. So sometimes people's face gets very puffy. You're retaining a lot more water in your body. Bloating, food sensitivities. You get weight gain that's just coming from nowhere. Pain in your joints. Sometimes people get headaches. All of this is caused by inflammation. Poor energy, brain fog. You're not thinking as clear anymore. Your skin, it even shows up in your skin sometimes in more extreme cases. Acne, eczema, redness. All of these ways are ways that inflammation shows up in your body, okay? Because when your cells age, you age. And that is the kind of aha that I think a lot of people don't think about. You just think about the external, you think about how you feel, but it really starts underneath, okay? So what Vivix does is protect your cells so they can act younger for longer. We have so many clinical studies, so much information and testing that we've done around this formula itself. It protects against DNA damage, 2/3 reduction in DNA damage. We have seen a 98% increase in cellular energy. Okay. It preserves telomere length. Telomere length is basically it is a reflection of how strong and powerful and how young your cells are, right? And net, what it does is blunt inflammation. So it's protecting your cells. You have all these trillions of cells in your body, and it's saying, inflammation, not today, world. Like I am protecting this queen right here. That is what Vivix is doing. And we did a really interesting study. We like to call it the McDonald's study. But what we really did was we did a study where we gave a group of people a high fat, fast food, high carb meal, right? So, of course, what's going to happen? Immediately, because your body reacts to that, your body reacts to all of that kind of unhealthy, extreme stuff. And so, if you look on this graph right here, the one at the top, the one that goes up, of course, your body is going to immediately get inflamed. Shoo, it goes up, right? But we gave another group Vivix before that meal. So not only did that inflammation not happen that extreme, it actually reduced the inflammation overall. So this is a very clear proof, not only right when they ate it, but even 5 hours after they ate the meal. So what Vivix is doing for all of the ways that your body is constantly being attacked, and when it's being attacked, your body is aging, it's going to inflammation quickens fast, like makes you age faster. What Vivix does is blunt that inflammation. Okay. So this is a very, very powerful product that is kind of table stakes across the board when we're talking about longevity for people that love our product. Now the second part, so we have inflammation. So when we talk about aging, structural aging, there's kind of two main things. Inflammation, that's what we just talked about. That's all the ways that your body is being attacked and starting to wear down. So we're going to protect that. And then the other part of the equation is your structural health, right? So everything that's keeping your body up. Now, collagen, we hear about collagen all the time. Let me give you a little bit of a background on it. Collagen is actually the most abundant source of protein in our bodies. It is what is keeping everything up, Okay? It shapes how you look, how you feel, how you move. It is the framework for your body. And a lot of times people just think about it as like a beauty thing, but it is the framework, like I said, for your entire body. Okay, so skin firmness. So, yes, the elasticity, the bounce in your skin, that's collagen. Your joints, how you move, your mobility, that's collagen. The framework of your bones, over a quarter of your bones is actually made out of collagen. So, like the strength and the resilience of your bones is collagen and connective tissue. So, how you're moving, how you're grooving, all how you're looking, all of that is based on collagen. And over time, collagen declines. And what happens then, you're going to start seeing your skin losing its firmness. That's when you start seeing your nails and your hair starts to get a little bit dry and brittle. Your joints feel stiff. You're not recovering as fast as you did. That is what collagen is doing. And we know this, right? That collagen, like everything, it that the production of collagen in your body, it declines with age. So starting in your mid 20s, your collagen is declining around 1% every year. And for women, fun fact, once you hit menopause, that doubles to 2%. Okay, so you are still making collagen in your body. It's just not as much and not as effectively because you're constantly under stress from the environment, inflammation, all those things we talked about with Vivix, that is doing the same thing to your collagen. Okay? So we are really excited and we are obsessed with this product, Liquid BioCell. This one is specifically Life, but most people think collagen itself is the answer, right? Okay, great. It's declining. I just need more collagen. But collagen actually doesn't work alone in our bodies. It's made up of this matrix of three parts. So it has collagen, that's going to give you the structure. It actually lives with hyaluronic acid, which is this hydration. It's going to kind of give you the bounce that we talk about in our skin, hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate. So basically, think of that as the cartilage. It keeps the cushioning in between your joints. So those three things are in our body what actually is going to keep your skin firm, smooth, bounce back, your joints feel supported. These things decline as we age. So it really is dependent on those three. So the problem is most collagen supplements only just give you collagen, just collagen. That is what makes this product BioCell different, is that it gives you that entire matrix, that all three of those, so the collagen peptides, the hyaluronic acid, the chondroitin sulfate, all of that, that entire matrix, it is given to your body in a form that your body actually recognizes. So your body doesn't need to break it down and rebuild it to use it. It immediately absorbs it and it immediately says, hey, that's already what's in my body. So it can more quicker be able to start to use it. That's why people notice such a difference with how they look, how they feel in a lot shorter of amount of time because the formula actually mimics the collagen that is in your body. Okay. So what does this mean? We talk about collagen in our skin. This is where people tend to see and feel the most immediate benefits. So we did clinical studies on BioCell. That's also another huge thing about products at Shackley is we don't just market claims. We don't just say, oh, because it has this ingredient, it's going to do this. We actually study the formula itself to be able to make the claims that we do. So with this product, BioCell, people saw an actual reduction, 76% decline in the amount of skin dryness in just 12 weeks. This is huge because I'm telling you, dry skin is when your fine lines and wrinkles start to show up and become a lot more visible. So when people started taking BioCell, those lines began to soften, not just on the surface, but again, from the structure internally is getting strengthened and being infused with that collagen that our body actually uses. That is what's making the skin just completely look more hydrated, look different. We also saw an increase of hyaluronic acid. So again, that's the hydration by 6,000%, right? And it also, the formula, what it does is decrease hyaluronidase. So basically what that is it's an enzyme in our body that breaks down hyaluronic acid. I want to keep all my hyaluronic acid because I want my skin plump, firm, bouncy. So instead of losing hydration, your skin with BioCell is actually able to hold on to it. So you are going to notice the differences in your skin's firmness, the elasticity. It's going to look tighter, feel more supported. So your skin is going to get a lot of benefits from this product, right? Especially with the hyaluronic acid. More hydrated, the structure is stronger, your skin is going to start to bounce back, but your body is going to feel a huge difference. I was definitely starting to feel a lot of those aches and pains in the mornings. This is where people started to see the difference of how the body moves. So, BioCell is going to nourish and support all of your cartilage and connective tissue. So, all of that also breaks down over time. And because it also is infused with that hyaluronic acid, that hydration, it's going to support joint lubrication. Basically, you're going to move better. You're going to feel a lot smoother and more comfortable, less stiff in your joints, especially in the morning or after you've been sitting for a while and you get up and you're like, oh, there, okay, what's going on there? You are going to feel a lot more ease in just everyday movement, whether you're walking, you're working out, or just like going about your day. Your body is so much more supported because now it's infused with that collagen, with all of that joint lubrication, right? So over time, people just feel less restricted. They just have more confidence in how their body moves. So huge benefits when it comes to your skin and then your joints and your mobility. And I'm telling you, look at the proof right here. We have thousands of people who will not go a day without BioCell. Look at this woman on the left. Look at around her mouth and even around her lips. I mean, those lines, this is what hydration does. This is what collagen does. It will plump up and firm and give that bounce back to the skin. Look at how her skin is glowing because it is back hydrated. We're infusing it back with the collagen and the hydration. Huge difference on the skin. This man on the right, 4 years difference. And look at what he says. No fillers, no needles. Yes, it's true because when people take this product, literally just 2 tablespoons a day on a consistent basis, they see such a huge difference in how they look and how they are moving and feeling. So with these two products, so the Vivix and the BioCell, you are not just supporting your body. I'm telling you, you are influencing how you age. They are patented. They are clinically proven. They are designed to help your cells perform like they did when they were younger. So you don't just look different, but you're actually feeling different. So again, remember, Vivix is going to help protect your cells against that inflammation, that oxidative stress. So it's giving you that protection so your cells aren't aging as fast. And then BioCell is going to signal your body to rebuild and restore that collagen that's naturally declining over time. So these two products, I'm telling you, I will not go a day without them because these are like my daily ritual. I love them, but this is how you are going to truly support your body so you don't just age, but you are actually aging powerfully. These two products is what had people like starting to notice and like, what have you been doing different, right? That is what we want. And we want to feel more in control of how we age. So with that, love you guys and back over to you.
Wow, Adriana, that was absolutely incredible. I have notes for days over here. So much really incredible, valuable information. I mean, drop a little emoji in the comments. Let me know what, like, are you mind blown emojis, fire emojis? There's so much really incredible information that was just shared tonight. And I don't know about you, but I have such a better understanding of the things that I'm seeing with age, the things that I'm feeling with age. And now I know it's not just because I'm getting older. It's because there's certain aspects of my health and my wellness that I can support from a foundational level to rejuvenate cellular energy, to improve and enhance structure, to kind of bring vitality and vibrancy back to my life. Tell me in the comments right now, what did you learn? What was your biggest aha moment? What did you take away from this? What little nugget are you like so excited to phone your bestie about or send to a friend? Because that was so incredible. But it doesn't just stop there. We're going to take a quick moment and we're going to listen to two incredible people who have had phenomenal testimonies with the products that you just heard about tonight. Allison, take it away.
Hi, my name is Allison Richards, and I'm excited to share with you what BioCell has done in my life. In the seventh grade, I was diagnosed with arthritis. Shortly after that, I was diagnosed with a connective tissue disorder, which explained why I had lived my life full of pulled and torn ligaments, broken bones, including my back, multiple setbacks and injuries, struggling through trying to be an athlete. Um, I was on multiple supplements for joint health. I was on multiple supplements, including powdered collagen. In my early 20s and 30s, I tried several different things, all the while having extreme discomfort and limited mobility. I was limited on what I could do. When I became a mom, I couldn't even sit on the floor to play with my kids without it causing extreme setbacks, extreme discomfort, often limiting me for weeks at a time on what I could do. Traveling was a huge issue, sitting in the car for long periods of time, going and sleeping in different beds in hotels and things like that. I felt like a burden to my family because my limitations were huge. As someone who has struggled their entire life with extreme discomfort, I almost felt hopeless. So when a friend about 5.5 years ago introduced me to liquid BioCell, I thought, why not give it a try? I've tried almost everything else. She said to give it 3 months, and she shared with me a video on the science behind it. I was blown away by the clinical studies. I was blown away by the ingredients, and I was blown away by the science behind it. Not only that, but her story personally, how it helped her knees. So, about 3 months of taking that, I started to see and feel a difference. Not only that, but my husband started to see a difference in me, and he wanted to know what I was doing differently and if it was that new drink I was drinking that was helping me so much. Within 6 months, I was a new person. My own doctor wanted to know what I was doing differently. My family, my siblings, my friends, they all saw such a drastic difference in my quality of life that they wanted to know what I was taking and what I was doing. Now, 5.5 years later, I cannot imagine where I would be without Liquid BioCell. I cannot imagine my life without it. I don't want to know where I would be. I was so miserable before. I look back sometimes and it just brings tears to my eyes. How blessed I am to feel this good now in my 40s. As a mom of two boys, we are traveling, we are living a life full of adventure, we are going on hikes. I hike weekly, I work out, I'm able to lift weights. I am able to live a life full of adventure and fun thanks to Liquid BioCell. I will continue to shout it from the rooftops and tell as many people as I can about BioCell. And I'm so grateful that it has changed my life.
Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Davidson, and I'm super excited to be able to share my testimonial and my story about the incredible product Vivix. I will throw in some stuff about liquid biocell too, but I'm going to tell you about my story with Vivix. So I'm 54 years old. I am an extremely active person, from motorized sports, snowmobiling, dirt biking, avid gym goer, still play as many sports as possible. But 3 years ago, my wife and I moved into a new home. And I got up early in the morning to go to the gym and I missed the last flight of stairs and fell probably about 8 feet straight onto my right shoulder. Needless to say, I had to get some x-rays to make sure I hadn't broken anything and ultrasounds, and it turned out that I had an AC joint sprain. Uh, Probably should have broken it, to be honest. It probably would have healed better, But needless to say, after that, I was in chronic discomfort. I couldn't work out. I couldn't even throw. We have two little Jack Russells. I couldn't even throw the ball for them. I was just constant, especially sleeping. I couldn't even sleep on my right side. So about 11 months ago, I was introduced to Shackley and this product called Vivix. And I'm like, I had to try everything, anything. Like I was at that point where something had to change. I couldn't take it anymore. I was in, I couldn't work out. It's been about 2 years. And then fast forward, I've been taking Vivix for 2 weeks and I'd had to sleep on my left shoulder. So I'd face the wall when, from my wife at night. And I woke up one morning. She goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You're looking at me." And I was like, "What?" And I was sleeping on my right shoulder. And I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. So, things continued. I started throwing the ball more for the dogs. I started feeling better. Fast forward to now, I've been on the product for 11 months. I'm at the gym 6, 7 days a week. I feel like I'm 20 years old. Now, I was on the product called Liquid BioCell for about 8 years as well, which is great for joints. And needless to say, again, after 11 months of being on Vivix, it has been life-changing. So the whole part of this product that's mind-blowing is it actually reduces inflammation. So when I had my injury, it must have been inflamed. Not a doctor, not a scientist, but I've learned so much about this product because not only does it fight inflammation, it reduces oxidative stress, and then it actually helps repair your cells at like a cellular level, right? So it's repairing your body and again, at 54, I am lifting more weight, like shoulder press, like overhead barbell press, things that I've never done, like weights that I've never lifted, since my 20s. So I always like to say to people, Vivix reduces the inflammation and BioCell adds the lubrication. So if somebody's brought you on here about these products and you're just, like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, please check them out. Thanks for taking the time.
Allison and Thomas, my gosh, your stories are absolutely incredible. I mean, how many of us right now heard those stories and immediately thought of people who could absolutely benefit from those products? And what's crazy is that their stories, those two stories that were shared tonight, are just drops in the bucket of tens of thousands of other stories where these two products have not just transformed people's health, but really, just like here tonight, the quality of their lives. So, as we wrap up tonight, I just want to take a moment to genuinely thank you for being here. You literally could have been anywhere doing anything, and instead you decided to show up, to learn, to invest in your health. And I say invest in your health because what we talked about tonight isn't just information, it's really an invitation for you to think differently about aging, to take ownership of how you feel in your body, and to realize that the future of your health isn't something you passively experience, it's something you actively shape. And the most powerful part is it doesn't have to be complicated. What we've found is that simple. Consistent daily actions done with the right support can create, as you heard in the testimonies, extraordinary change over time. That's where what we call the longevity duo, the BioCell and the Vivix, really do come in. This combination of these two products, the BioCell and Vivix, is really designed to support your body at a foundational level, helping protect, repair, and renew things from the inside out. And again, it's not about quick fixes or surface level solutions. It's really about giving your body what it needs to function and adapt and really just thrive over time. And so when you make that kind of investment in your body consistently, you're not just maintaining your health, you're upgrading it. You're setting yourself up to move better, to feel better, to live more fully for the years that are to come, to truly live younger, longer. So tonight, don't overthink it. If you heard something that resonated with you, I really encourage you to lean into that. The next step really is so simple. Get back with the person who invited you. They'll help you get started, walk you through the best options for you, and make sure that you have access to the current offers and promotions that we have available to you right now. You're not going to have to figure it out on your own. And more importantly, you don't have to wait because the sooner you begin, the sooner your body begins to respond. And that's really what we want, right? So thank you again for being here, for being open, and for being willing to take a step towards something better. Your future self, I promise you, is going to thank you for it. So again, thank you for joining us here tonight on the Longevity Edit.